It's a long day to me indeed. Yes, I will present my study. I'm so happy to be here and have a chance to present our study to you today. So the topic is about the association between robotization and in-work poverty. To begin with, I'd like to say that this research project has been funded by Kihasa and collaborated with Dr. Zhen from Copenhagen Business School. Oh, yes. This presentation will be discussed in this order: background, research question, impact of technological change on the labor market, how robotization would affect in-work poverty, workers' bargaining power and in-work poverty risks by robotization, method, findings, and then conclusions. As you know, activation policies has been emphasized in almost all welfare states for the several decades. However, a large number of working people are still poor. And particularly in many European countries, in-work poverty situation got worse, as the figure shows. Considering the recent trends like labor market utilization and automation, it is difficult to be optimistic about the in-work poverty situation, even we increases the activation policies. In this situation, many studies have addressed various factors to influence in-work poverty, but there is little knowledge of the association between the rise of robotization and the incidence of in-work poverty. As these figures show, industrial robots have become dominant in the world. Globally, around 400,000 units of industrial robots has been newly installed every year in recent years. Against this background, we have posed the following research question. The first is this: what is the association between the rise of robotization and the incidence of in-work poverty? The second one is, if robotization and in-work poverty are associated, does workers' bargaining power moderate the relationship? Nowadays, our routine bias technological change perspective is most commonly employed in analyzing the impact of technological development on the labor market. This view says technological developments have made redundant many routine workers by taking over codifiable and repetitive tasks. This causes job polarizations, which means a decline in employment in medium-wage routine jobs, accompanied by the growth of high-paying jobs and low-paying service occupations. Empirical studies provides evidence supporting this perspective in terms of employment structure. However, it is hard to find reliable evidence that technological development is likely to be associated with decrease in wage. That is the point of this study, actually. So let's see how robotization would affect in-work poverty. Robotization and jobs in services are very correlated issues. According to the RBTC literature, the rise of robotization is likely to generate more manual, non-routine jobs in the service sector I mentioned in the previous slide. These kinds of jobs have the following features: short job tenure, the prevalence of part-time employment, a high proportion of vulnerable solo self-employment, disadvantages in being protected by existing unemployment benefits, less opportunity of job training. Empirically, it has been found that those characteristics are strongly associated with income insecurity rather than low wages. In addition, we should have attention on some recent studies dealing with in-work poverty in the post-industrial labor market. According to the recent findings, in-work poverty is a matter of unemployment rather than low wage levels. In addition, workers who have trouble in getting a job are likely to become self-employed, regardless of their intention or willingness to open new business. They often experience a higher in-work poverty risk due to unstable income. So, long story short, the diagram shows our study idea. The diagram looks like explaining the causal relations, but it doesn't. Actually, the rise of robotization is associated with the growth of employment in manual, non-routine jobs in services. This means just association, not causal relations. And then, the growth of unemployment in the service job is likely to increase the spread of income insecurity by frequent moving between jobs and unemployment. And then, this one is positively related to the increase in the probability of in-work poverty. That is the structure of this idea about the association between the rise of robotization and the incidence of in-work poverty. In addition, we were wondering strong workers' bargaining power ameliorate in-work poverty risks by robotization. According to the relevant literature, workers' organization mainly focused on insiders. Generally, trade unions tend to be more active in advocating labor market insiders rather than outsiders like temporary workers or part-timers. Despite their high in-work poverty risks, outsiders are often excluded from trade unions' protection, particularly in dualized labor market in recent years. And also, trade unions are tend to be strongly against the salary cut, but defenseless against declines in employment. It means organized labor can be effective in preventing from wage cuts even in occupations at higher risk of automation, but tend to accept declines in employment. They tend to act to maximize protecting their own interest by, what is that? Having no interest in protecting outsiders. So, thus, it is hard to expect that workers' bargaining power would not moderate in-work poverty risks caused by, I think this is a problematic expression, not caused by, and then led by or related to robotization, considering they are likely to increase due to frequent moving in and out of jobs. To answer our research questions, we have employed the following method based on various kinds of data set. We used this microdata, Luxembourg income study waves 5 to 11. And robotics data comes from installations and operational setup for industrial robot data by the International Federation of Robotics. And also we use economic and institutional data from OECD database. We just focused 18 OECD member states from 2010 to 2018. You can see the data set for analysis used for analysis by country in the table. Yes. We estimated two multi-level modeling, including individual and country year levels. London intercept logistic models were employed, and also we applied population and design weights to all statistical models as well. Dependent variables is whether a respondent is working in a poor household as well. Here, working means being in employment for more than 26 weeks in the income reference year. Poverty line is, we used the 60% of the median of equivalized household disposable income as a poverty line in this analysis. Main explanatory variable is robot density. Robot density is the number of operational industrial robots relative to the number of total employees in each country. We include many control variables at individual level and country levels. And to examine the functions of trade unions in moderating the association between robotization and in-work poverty, we estimated the interaction terms between robot density and the yellow colors variables, union density, collective bargaining coverage, and the centralization of wage bargaining, respectively. Our findings come down in this slide. This table displays the estimates of logic model on in-work poverty, including a robot density in all industries as explanatory variable. We can see robotization in all industries has significant positive association with in-work poverty in all the four models. This result is robust even after controlling for many institutional variables. Consequently, the findings support our first expectations about the association between robotization and in-work poverty. These graphs shows a marginal effect of robotization by collective bargaining coverage, union density, and the centralization of wage bargaining, which are calculated based on the interaction terms. The first graph shows that the collective bargaining coverage play a moderator in some range between 10% to 82 or 3%. However, according to the second and third graphs, it is hard to say that they moderate the association between robotization and poverty. Yeah, in sum, the rise of robotization is positively associated with the incidence of in-work poverty. Increasing workers' bargaining power is not enough to ameliorating the impact of robotization on in-work poverty, even though in some sense collective bargaining coverages would play a role as a moderator in some ranges. In conclusion, in the age of robotics, to prevent in-work poverty, not only increasing the wages of lowest paying jobs, but also improving employment security of vulnerable workers are required. In addition, social policies and labor market institutions need to be restructured and redesigned, considering that robotization is a new external shock to the welfare state. This brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.